I think we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm joined by ex-AFL, All-Australian, Melbourne Demon, and founder of First Use, both on YouTube and a business within itself, Jeff White. How you going?
Good, Anthony. Thanks for having me on. It's really good. I'm really looking forward to this. Speaking to all your Collingwood faithful, all the fans. Really enjoyed doing the videos for them over the last couple of years. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah. They're gonna I spoke to them throughout the course of early this week via live streams, and now we're all stoked to hear that you're going to do a collab. So that's a big win for us. Before we actually get into the content of the purpose of this video being our midfield strategy moving forward in 2026, I just want you to tell us a bit about First Use, because my understanding it's a bit of an online program, and then where did the inspiration come from to jump onto YouTube and break it down in a way that you are, that the Collingwood fans love so much right now?
Yeah, well, look, it originated from, being involved with footy for such a long period of time and now based on the Gold Coast. I was getting a lot of parents, athletes, coaches, the likes asking me about ruck work, and there was nothing available, and what do you do with training and the angles and all that sort of stuff. So it initially started out as First Use is used by commentators. I use it quite a lot as well. The First Use is tap to the midfielders. So that's where it originated from. So I was really invested in doing that. But like the old saying, you go to a surf shop and you don't sell wetsuits. And well, why aren't you selling wetsuits? So eventually it's graduated to helping coaches. So my real, this is where the YouTube comes into play. My passion is for coaching, is being a mentor for coaches. There's a lot of programs out there. There's a lot of people out there that are giving advice on training techniques and so on and so forth. But I really want to help coaches, the fans. I want them to understand the game. I think that's really important. Why is this player going there? Why is that player going there? And the background to the videos I do is basically what I went through with Neil Danaher for 11 years. We would always slow it down. We'd draw lines. We'd draw circles. So I'm basically giving the fans a little bit of a snapshot into what goes, and it still happens to this day, what the players go through in the analysis of week to week. So that's where it's come from. I really love dissecting. I love seeing how the game's evolving. I love what sides are doing, how they're trying to implement their strategy. So, yeah, really love this side of it. I love being involved in footy, and that's a little bit of a background story to First Use.
Brilliant. There's actually one of your best videos for the Collingwood faithful. If you guys want to go check it out on his channel on YouTube, the one where you highlight the depth perception strategy. So maybe we can save that video for another time. But I think that was very popular amongst the fans because it breaks down the game beyond the rudimental level, which some people might not see.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that a lot of the formats, like handball games, sort of started when I first was into the system, but that came from soccer. So it's quite interesting that a lot of the formats like hockey, soccer, you think of those games at the sort of the square element, but they're in a close confined area, that AFL coaches are starting to take a lot from that. But yeah, I noticed that early last year when they played Brisbane up at the Gabba for I think it's the Easter weekend or whatever it is. And I was actually commentating that game live, and I could see that they were going on these angles. And it was definitely, as you've seen in the video, it was definitely coached. They'd worked it out. And that's why the likes of, the small half forwards that come up, the Bobby Hills and the likes would actually get involved and then slingshot forward. So, yeah, it was really interesting to see. And I loved actually how they did it. So hopefully, and that's why you're on top of the ladder for such a long period of time, because it was really hard for opposition clubs to actually work out what you're doing. And look, you still made a prelim, so you're doing something right.
Yeah. And that's something I definitely, towards the back end of this video, I want to dive into a little bit more. I want to also hint at or have a conversation about your time with Melbourne in the back end, where they were really competitive for the most part of the 2000s. And then I actually just wanted to pick your mind. We'll save it for a moment, but I want to pick your mind on, when is this proverbial cliff coming for each club, and what it was for perhaps your club, if that was the case. But just hang tight. I don't want to jump the gun on that. Let's talk about the purpose of this video, and we'll pop open this screen here. So what we're going to do is, guys, Jeff and I are going to watch through this. I think it's 2 minutes worth of clip work surrounding Beau McCreary and his game in the midfield. Now, just for context, the reason why I'm bringing Jeff on specifically for this is because I want somebody who has an expert perspective on this and has is non-biased towards the black and white. So this is someone who's Jeff is someone who's going to be able to come into this and say, hey, I can tell you Beau's got this or he doesn't have this, and whether it can go one way or the other, because there's some people who support the black and white might think Beau McCreary is the next Christian Petrarca or Patrick Dangerfield in the middle. So I want you to give us some sort of, let's say, ceiling, so to speak, although we must be mindful that Beau in 2025 only intended 15% of centre bounces for the Pies. But what was really interesting was his return on those centre bounces. I think 1 in 4 of each of those centre bounces, he would be the guy running away with that centre clearance. So small sample size, promising. But I want you to have a look at the videotape and actually see if there's any method to this madness that could be applied in the future.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I could see him. Is he on the northern side there of the circle?
Okay, so we've got Beau McCreary
right
here.
There. Right.
And so, then his opponent for some of these ones,
Lockie
McCluggage, or that might even be Josh Dunkley, to be honest.
All right, we'll play it. So you want to, I'm looking forward to this. This is good. I can see he's on the, I can see he's set up there. Is that Crisp on the bottom right-hand corner?
Yep. So
that's
we got
him on Ashcroft?
Yeah, and that is Crisp, Whisper,
and Dacos.
McCreary.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And just for more context, this is... Oh, sorry, I think there might be a delay. Sorry, Jeff, 1 second. I just wanted to say one more thing. This is the prelim final, just for context.
Yep. Yeah, I reckon. So before we actually play it, I don't know, but in this situation, I like to see that's probably going to wrap, because Cox is a right-hander. I'm looking at this as McCreary's left, Dunkley or McCluggage, whoever that is, but he's going to wrap around. He's going to wrap around through. That way. That's what it looks like, and I like that, because that route there, because you've got Dacos. It looks like he's on the other Ashcroft there, Levi. So the way they're trying to do this, I'm just looking at from, and obviously you're going to play it, but I'm looking at this from a strategy point of view. You've got Crisp on the bottom right. He's pushing Ashcroft away, right? So the train of where he wants to run is where you've got the arrows there, because he's pushing Ashcroft to the right and Nick Dacos is pushing Levi to the left. So get inside, push him out, and that allows for McCreary to come around the backside. Obviously, if Cox wins the tap, and then out on his right foot. So it's really important. I think I'd like to explain this to your fans, is that if you are got a go-to player in the centre bounce, whether it's local league, whether it's here, and you've seen it a lot with Pendlebury, and you've seen it a lot with Dacos, put them in their preferred spot of right foot. So you don't want, in a sense, you don't want Nick Dacos swinging on the left. We all know he can kick on his left, and he's that good. But what I'm trying to say is you put him in the positions when they've got a bit of heat that they can get their ball to it, get their foot to it. Anyway, there's a little bit of a diagram. I think that's going to happen. So let's go. Let's play it.
All right. Let's clear that.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I'm a mind reader. So I promise you I hadn't even seen that. I promise you, as the fans, I had not seen that footage.
He's happy. He's happy with that one. He's real happy with that one.
But I like that. You can see the setup there, and that's why I'm trying to break it down. That's what I love to look at, to analyze. And this is for your fans, is to try and figure out, hey, what are we trying to do in the centre bounce? What's the mindset? What are we trying to accomplish? But also the fact is you can have all that strategy in place, but if Cox doesn't win the tap, okay, what's the defensive structure? And I like that they've got Dacos in that area, because he can be the sweeper, so to speak.
Can I ask, because I want to tie this in with the ruck rule change, because I'm curious. is this how frequent are we going to see opportunities for this type of play to ensue when the ball's being thrown up as opposed to it being bounced and not being able to wrestle and whatnot? Does that change any variables in this typical situation? Because we've seen Beau do this a couple of times.
Yeah, what it's going to allow is when you think about when the rucks have been going at each other. So, say for instance, in this screenshot, you've got Fort going against Cox. Now, say that they were right near the umpire and they were facing towards McCreary. The hit zone is where McCreary is, so it's really boring. I did a video in this a couple of weeks ago. Now it's going to open up the opportunity for the Darcy Camerons to hit it forward or hit it back or hit it in different areas because it allows them to jump. Now with the new rule, they're not going to be negated. So they've got to be able. You'll have more hit zones. That's what I'm trying to explain. So
what is the exact rule that's highlighted regarding that?
So once the ball's thrown up, you have to jump into your opponent. That's a simple, basic rule of it. You cannot come across the line when the ball is thrown up because that's deemed a free kick. So you have to jump. So for the likes of someone like a Kieran Briggs from Giants or a Sherry from North Melbourne, they have to learn to jump on a 45. So they need to learn to jump through their ruck, especially if they're going against an athletic type ruck. Max Gawn, I know, not being biased on Melbourne, but he's been doing this for a long time. He does it at training. He practices to go across. And I know when I played against bigger opponents, if they jumped across the line, so you still got to jump. You can't actually go across like you previously would last year. But if you jump across the line, you actually put me off my balance, and I actually feel like I'm reaching for the ball. So it's going to play a big advantage. But what it does, it opens up more opportunities, and this is why I hope that Collingwood, with their midfield strategy this year, they use the likes of McCreary, Dacos, hit it forward, get them running. Because the thing is, if Dacos goes, he's going to take 1 million people with him because he's going to attract attention. So then you're going to create holes to hit it in different areas. So he might go as a decoy, or if you hit it forward, no one's going to catch him. And the way he uses it inside forward 50.
Yeah, okay. Very interesting. So it's that 12 o'clock hit and extra hit zones as well that are going to give more variability in these ruck duels and midfield battles. So that's only going to be good for the game in general, right?
It's only exciting for the game, 100%. And that's why I was very excited when they announced it. But think about the situation here. Cox is obviously not at Collingwood, but he can hit it forward or he could drop it like he does to McCreary. So it provides provides unpredictability for the opposition, which is great. If they just lined up like a stop play, they're just going to hit it to McCreary. That's boring. This situation where they're jumping at each other, he can hit it forward, or in the case of setup here, he drops it back. So it's really good strategy, and I love it, and it's going to be really exciting for the fans.
Keen. All right, Jeff, let's have a look at the next one, which admittedly is eerily similar. So let's get to here. Okay, so there's your starting position. You got McCluggage here, and I think it was Dunkley last time, and it's pretty much the same matchups as the previous.
So I reckon what Brisbane's picked up on this, and that's why Levi is inside Nick Dacos. So what you would like to see in this situation? Yeah, he's trying to block. He's trying see what he's trying. He can see that McCluggage on the right-hand side, he is looking at Dacos. They don't want to get exposed on the front side here. So you've got, he wants to hold. So he's waiting for Nick Dacos to come through there. So he's actually giving width to McCreary. So he finds that's why they've tightened up. So the previous one, Levi Ashcroft is on the other side. So really easy for Dacos to push him away. But in this situation, I reckon Levi Ashcroft's trying to sort of go to the right a little bit. This is where it opens up the lane for Dacos, but that's where McCluggage is holding on to. So, interesting to see how this plays out.
And I imagine in some way that, I mean, to put it bluntly, they're not paying as much attention to a Beau McCreary than they are compared to a Nick Dacos in this type of situation, right?
Yeah, and that's where you can use him as a weapon this year. There's a few times over the last couple of years I've seen where they went to Dacos quite a lot. Then all of a sudden he went, but they hit it back to Pendlebury or they hit it back to Chris. So you can use Dacos as a decoy, which is great. But the other thing in this situation is, like I said before, yes, you're hoping that Cox wins it. But if Dacos was to go, McCreary was to come through, if Fort wins the tap, Levi's going to get it, and you're exposing the front side. So the sweeper is very important.
All right, let's have a look how this pans out then.
Yep, same again. And see, Levi was trying to get it, but he got under the ball. Just go back on that a little bit. I just want to see what Dacos does in his positioning. Yeah, so he closes the gap on him. Yep, run it through. Yep. Cripps is pushing Will Ashcroft under the ball, and it's a great set play. Yeah, he's pushing him away. He's actually pushed him right into the contest. Yep.
And Jack Crisp is so often the sacrificial lamb, whether it be positionally playing as a winger rather than being in the middle, but also when he's in the middle, it's doing these little things that people just don't see in real time, right?
100%. And Pendlebury's been doing it for 30-odd years or however long he's been playing for. But correct. I'm a big advocate for role players. So you could, and this is what Nick Dacos, to his credit, he does this quite a lot because he knows he's targeted. So he's held. He hasn't gone. So it's definitely a hit for McCreary. No questions about that because Dacos is staying firm as the sweeper.
He's not encouraging the space.
No. And Jack Cripps, his role is to push Ashcroft under. Yeah, I know that on the other side as well. So push him into the contest. That's why he's on his left shoulder there, to push him that way. But then that's why they put Dacos as a sweeper, because if Fort wins it and goes back to McCluggage, you need someone to cover that really quickly on the other side.
Okay, got you. Thoughts on the penetration on this kick going inside 50 as well, because that's an important piece to it all as well.
Yeah, that's not too bad. It's on the favoured side.
Yep.
Of Elliott on the right side. So just go back on that a bit. Just go back on a fraction. I like the Dacos supporting him. And what I also like about this too is McCreary, he's got pace. And I love that you're bringing this up because I think he can be your Petrarca, your Dangerfield in the middle. Keeps his body healthy. He's definitely adds another layer to the midfield. But what I love about this, play it out, he takes the grass.
Yeah.
Right, so he could have gone a bit further because Nick Dacos in support, but he saw that there was an opportunity there to hit it to Elliott. Yeah. So he takes the grass, which is really good. So you get that penetration inside forward 50, and really good.
He's almost kicking it into the space and forcing Elliott to get into that, right? Would you say?
100%.
And obviously, there's some part of the lead as well, but there's him inviting that.
Yeah, and every good kicker that goes inside forward 50 does that. One that springs to mind, obviously Pendlebury, but Lipinski. Lipinski puts you into the spot where he sees the space. The great kickers in the game, they don't kick it on your head. They don't kick it 5 meters in front of you. They kick it to where the space is. And that's really important to understand.
Yeah. Okay, so this is still the prelim final, Jeff. Different positions now. What do you think to start off with? This is something we want to see a little bit more this year. Dugowie, McCreary, and Nick with DC, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a great setup. The only thing you've got there is you haven't got a left footer. I noticed that Collingwood love to always have a left footer in there. But you can see in this situation where, as this plays out, I know what Darcy's going to do. He's going to come across the line. So just for your fans, that will be a free kick in 2026. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's going to impede this jump essentially.
Correct. That was going to be a free kick, so he won't be able to do that. So he's got to start back. This is going to be good for Darcy Cameron because he can jump, he's tall, and he gets across the line. And as I said before, he uses that 45. So he's got to be really good. So in this situation, it looks like Darcy Cameron's really good on his left. He's really trained himself. Highly effective. These rucks that are, 27, 28, 29, been around for a long time, you get used to using both hands. I reckon this one is De Goey is pushing Zach Bailey to the left. Yep. Just wary of Nick Dacos because sometimes he wraps around as a blocker. McCreary, he wraps around, like loves to go that. Then, like that. Like so then they drop it and then he goes out. Yep. But it's interesting. I still think this is a McCreary setup purely because of the way Darcy's facing, but also the way that De Goey's set up.
Okay. Shall we play it out and then we'll go from there?
Yep.
All right.
Yep, there it is. And dropped it. Really good. Yep. And then away he went. So that's what I'm saying about his left hand. He's really good with his left hand. And so, good hit.
Was that always intended, or is it just it's contingent on what that bounce does from the umpire as well?
Yeah, well, you're right. Yeah, it's reaction. And you raised the point before that I didn't go into, but in relation to throwing it up now, it's very predictable. With the bounce, it was unpredictable. So it could bounce on your head or it can bounce away. So it really changes the dynamic in the centre bounce. But now that it's going to go directly up and both rucks are going to jump each other, that's where it's going to offer a lot of hit zones. So the club's got to do the homework on this. But really good setup there. And what I like about this too is that it's not negative, but it's always going to be a defensive hit because you see Nick Dacos he's on goal side. He's on goal side of Brisbane. So Brisbane's obviously going right of screen. De Goey's on goal side and McCreary's on goal side. So it was always going to be defensive hit if he won it.
Yep. Okay. Wasn't so much of a centre bounce, but just getting it forward, tried to take it on. We can move from that. Let me see what else I got here. I think this is a good one as well. So again, this is all in the same game, the biggest game of the season for the Pies, the penultimate game. And then a lot of this was within the third quarter as well, when Collingwood are really trying to surge back into the game. So I think that's important to clarify as well. But what do you see in this setup here?
So Brisbane's got a defensive triangle. You see Will Ashcroft way off as a sweeper, so he doesn't want to get anyone to come off the front side. And you got Darcy coming there? Where's the other? Oh, see, is there someone standing with? If you just play it a little bit, is there someone standing with Will Ashcroft? Because I can only see two midfielders for Collingwood.
You're not wrong there. There's someone just be.
I reckon someone's gone long. Left
I think Collingwood did this a few times last year where Nick or someone would push out the centre from out, obviously not out of the centre square, but so far out to really create some confusion. So this may have been one of the situations.
Yeah. So I reckon this is definitely play it out.
See what happens.
Yeah, left hand forward to McCreary. Yep. And that was De Goey. Really good. Love it.
We can bring it back.
Bring it back. The thing I love about that, and this is really smart play by De Goey or midfield. You always got to pump up the midfield coaches because they always get left behind. So I'm going to pump up the midfield coach, whoever it was at Collingwood.
I think it's Boydie, isn't it? I'm pretty sure.
Boydie, yeah. This is really smart and really getting on the front foot, but being proactive. So De Goey is almost at centre forward. So Will Ashcroft is like, what do I do? I'm in no man's land here. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to create the space to hit it forward. So with McCreary's pace, you can see that side bottom he's locked in. His role is to touch and feel. That's his role. His role is to be there, to push him into the contest, to play his role. He's not receiver. He's not the blocker. He's focused on his direct opponent. So, and this is what I'm saying to you, what I said to the fans before, is that Darcy Cameron is really good with his left hand. So this grades a lot for going to 2026, use his right hand, but he also can use his left hand to a really good effectiveness. And as you play this out now, you'll see why. Gets it. There you go. Checks. All right. So go back on Darcy Cameron. Watch. Just for rucks and for the fans, is it? Watch how he crouches, right? Look how he's got his center of gravity low. He's got in between Darcy Fort and the ball and checked him. Now, that would have winded Darcy Fort. So play it slowly.
Let me go. I can go playback speed. I can do this.
Yep. So go whack. Look at that. Hits him. Now, Darcy Fort is in deer in a spotlight mode. He's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Really good. I love that. Now he then goes and uses his left hand. And see how side bottoms push Dunkley away? Now, Dunkley's a really good stop play. So they've really targeted Dunkley in that situation, said, we've got to get Dunkley out of the way. No disrespect to Levi Ashcott, but he's only first year.
Yep.
But it all comes with that crouching of Darcy Cameron to go put his just get his lower center of gravity down, see where the ball is, and whack. And you could see what happened there.
Yeah. And you feel like literally in this very moment where Sidey does realize that he's no chance to get it here, he's actually putting a bit of weight on Dunkley to ensure that Beau can get through here.
He is only focused on Dunkley, get him out of the way. Yep. So his starting position is where McCreary gets it. Look what his starting position is there.
Yep.
And where does he get it? He's out of there. So it's a really good set play. I love it. Right. But also don't disregard DeGoey going at centre forward, because play it out. Keep playing it. Guess who gets the ball? Keep going. Take the grass. DeGoey.
Crazy. Where on earth does that come from? Does that stem from a certain? I mean, I know we're very evolution is a thing, and looking at other sports. Where does that? Have you seen that in AFL level before?
I've actually thought that it should be it should happen more often. But when sides have actually used it is when they're in front. So they've used it as a bit of a defensive mechanism. So they've actually gone back to centre-half back, and they're trying to protect it. But in this situation, as you pointed out, it's in the third quarter, they're trying to get some momentum. They've actually used it as a weapon. But what it's done there is it created space for McCreary to run into, because Will Ashcroft's in no man's land. So as you go with the handball chain, he gets eliminated straight away because he's worried about DeGoey. So if I was Brisbane, I would say let DeGoey go. He would get suffocated by the backs anyway, and then Will could then come in close to make it a 3-on-2.
There you go. So you reckon that will be something we'll see a little bit more, in the off-season, teams are probably looking back at these moments and going, let's, when shit's going the other way, we've got to throw something, throw a spanner in the works, and that can be one of them perhaps. Yeah,
be proactive, but also now that both rucks are facing each other, it allows you to hit it forward. So it really offers up those opportunities.
Okay. Jeff, I want to pick maybe two more scenarios where he's actually this is just talking about his tackling work, but most fans know that Beau's tackling is going to be an asset inside the midfield.
And I want to keep going, but I want to double down on that too. He's a gun. I love McCreary. I love his ability to burst. Let's pray for the Collingwood faithful that he is fit and ready to go this year, and he can stay in the park for a long period of time.
That's the thing, Jeff. I think just looking at this, if only he can stay on the field. I mean, you've seen players in the past. Maybe there's certain players that spring to your mind. They're almost too explosive for their own good, that they can't have that consistent output in the midfield because of how explosive they are. I mean, Jordan DeGoey struggles to play full-time mid. I mean, who else is there that springs to mind? I'm thinking Petrarca.
Well, I think of Dangerfield. Dangerfield probably comes to mind, and the way that Geelong's been able to manage his time in that sort of sense creates an opportunity for DeGoey. But you want to have DeGoey more midfield than what Dangerfield's doing now, playing more forward. But he just adds that element of explosiveness out of the centre bounce. So if he's staying healthy, if I was McCreary, I'll put him in there quite a lot.
Yeah. All right. So this one, Jeff, is qualifying final in Adelaide. This is Beau, the high half forward flanker, at a stoppage. from
I can see
memory, Nick
this.
kicks an incredible goal. But talk to us. What are you seeing here initially? I will say I don't think he gets it straight away. But what are you seeing here? What's a positive in his position?
Well, it looks like it's forward to centre for you for Collingwood because you can see Elliott up at the top of the screen there. But I like this. I like this attacking mode, and clubs got to do this more because what happens in this situation? A lot of clubs go defensive. You've got a defensive player there for Adelaide, so he's in the sweeper position, trying to stop anyone coming through. But McCreary's basically wrapping behind, so they're trying to hope that Darcy Cameron hits it out past the logo in the 50-metre arc there, so he can run onto it. But I like his starting position here because he's quick, but he's also creates a bit of attention. So what you got to do at these stop plays, particularly inside forward 50 and also in this area, is create a little bit of uncertainty create a bit of chaos. You've got Jack Cripps there as a left footer. He's holding as a sweeper. So if anything sort of falls that way, you've got a net there, which is good. But have a crack, hit it out in space. So play at it and see how it unfolds.
All right. Let me just put it back on normal speed. One moment. All right.
And then
so it's funny that Chris ends up doing what they wanted DC to do, right?
Yep. And I don't think Darcy Cameron won the tap there. So it was a really interesting tap by O'Brien because he's hit it into the corridor almost. Yeah. So it sort of worked out in a way.
What do you talk to me about that little moment there? Like, I don't know how many people can acknowledge this because it's just like that and it looks super simple. But I mean, let's go back to the tackle first, which is you wanted to highlight the tackling pressure.
Yep. But go back to Jack Cripps, and this is what I think this is why I slow down things. It's knowing your role. Like if he goes, say he goes with McCreary. You've got no defense there. You've got no sweeper. You've got to have a sweeper. And he creates the goal. Doesn't get a stat for that, but he creates the goal because he's in that position. And the other important thing with that too, if you go back, I'm just really analysing it quite heavily at the moment. But watch Jack Cripps. He goes to his right. Okay, so he goes in line with the ball.
Yep.
So instead of naturally he would go to his left, he's actually shifted laterally. So the reason why they call it a sweeper, because you sweep left to right. You sweep left to right. You go left to right. You don't go into the contest. You go left to right. And that's what he did there. You've got to hold. You've got to really be patient. Then you've got to adjust to where the ball is. That's what he did right there. So really, really smart play by him.
And then tackling pressure here. What about this? What are you seeing here?
That's poise. That's composure, and that's great to dissect it in such a small, confined area. The key here is McCreary doesn't kick it. So this is what a lot of clubs are going to do this year. I've noticed a lot of training drills where clubs are having a bit more composure. So he could easily hand pass it forward, but then you've worked so hard to get the ball back. Let's try and use it. But really good, smart play by Steele Sidebottom. We know how high his IQ is, but the ability to actually give a little hand pass. And I love who's the forward there.
That's Mason Cox holding.
He's just holding, which is great. Yep. Right. So if he comes in, then McCreary's got nowhere to work. He actually provides a good block there.
And that also gives Nick and Sidey that space to work with there. Just that there. I've never even looked at that. Coxie.
So Nick Dacos is McCreary's still got the ball. This is how smart Nick Dacos is, and I know the fans love him being inside. Look at him there. McCreary's got the ball. He's going left.
He already knows.
He already knows that Steele Sidebottom's in the V in his vision, but he can't see Nick Dacos. Okay. He's already assessed that Sidebottom's going to get to receive the ball. I will receive it because he's already gone left. Pretty cool.
It's all that time and just that hand pass, and then I wish I kept the goal in here just so I can relive that, but we'll save that for another time.
That's I've said, probably boring my fans, but that's why you play handball games.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I was at training last week, and there is a lot of handball surge work and working it from the center, forward of center, working it by hands, and absolutely no kicking was allowed in these specific drills. So real tight, confined spaces. And I'm sure we've seen a lot of working the ball by hands out of D50 rather than banging it long. But I think it seems like there's more, like you said, more of an emphasis on working the ball by hand inside forward 50 at all costs in these drills specifically.
Yeah, and I've seen that a lot with some of the preseason images that people have posted. Port Adelaide, Carlton, Melbourne a little bit. It comes from, I noticed that Hawthorn changed their game plan halfway through last year, where they started to use their hands a bit more. They were getting a little bit, oppositions were cutting off their kick, so they decided to go in waves, and Giants have been doing it for a while now.
Jeff, last one, mate. I could literally talk to you all night about this, and we're going to have to do a few more segments over the course of the season. But
I love for the sake of time,
it's good. This one here, this is Adelaide, but it's the home and away game where the conditions were extremely scrappy, wet conditions. And this is Beau, the high half forward in a stoppage here. So I'll let this play out for you. And I just want you to tell me what traits you may see here that look different compared to the players surrounding him in this situation.
Right. Where is he there? Where's McCreary there? Is that Degoe? Oh, okay, cool. Come up. Yep. Yeah, good. So, and he used the ball so well. That's a good kick.
I'll play it in real time as well for you. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. 1 second.
What I do notice is good balance around the stop play. Is this the final they won in Adelaide?
This is the home and away game, the second last game of the season for us.
Oh, yeah.
It was a very important game.
Yeah, it was. Good balance. Like it.
Yeah.
The beauty about that, I know McCreary comes up and he's clean below his knees, but if you go back a fraction, I just want to explain to your fans about what clubs work on. You'll see here that the ball's in dispute. So I think, right, so still side bottom goes.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
Darcy Cameron, so Pendlebury holds there, right? So he's allowing Darcy Cameron to try and win it. Ned Long wins it. Then Degoe shoots out. So they give balance. So what clubs try and work for is have balance around the stop place. It's like you've heard the saying, bees or honeypot.
Yeah.
Clubs don't want that. They don't want 2-1 because the clubs' oppositions are so good at eliminating that once they get the ball and hand pass and out, and away they go. So they just hold back. You see Pendlebury's, he was holding back. He was waiting for Darcy Cameron. He failed. Okay, now it's my turn. Okay, I failed. Now Ned Long went in there. He failed. McCreary cleans up. So really,
just having
really
that outside layer, so that it's essentially having an outside layer.
Yeah, and it's really hard to coach because good friends with Cameron Bruce, who's the midfield coach of Brisbane. He says it's really hard because players come through the system and they just hunt the ball. They want the ball. It's all individual sort of honours in some respect because they want to get drafted. To teach them to hold and then to go when they need to is really difficult to coach, and that's really good play there.
Yep. And we've spoken about Beau's kicking efficiency and just how, I mean, it's never been a great feature in his game, but this season he's just taken it to a new level. But like you said, they are just in these conditions to also be able to pick up the ball like that in such a clean fashion is.
But then he's got a couple. It hasn't got long to sum up where he's got to kick it to, and he kicks it to the favoured side. This is what I was saying to you before about smart players. They don't kick to where that Adelaide player is. They kick in front. They go, right, this is where the space is. I'll hit it. I'll hit you out, lace out.
And this is the fat side half forward flanker holding width on the other side of the field for that stoppage, and that's Lockie Schultz. And he does that so well.
Yeah, and you need that. Yeah, because he creates width. So, you think about the Adelaide defender, he's like, oh, why aren't you going in? It was because he's creating a one-on-one.
Yep. That's brilliant. Jeff, that's unreal, mate. That was, really
it's good. That's what I love doing. I love doing this. I love trying to figure out and get into and one of the things that the fans should look for is the start of every game. So look at the center bounce at the start of every game, and then you can really assess what the game style is, whether it's a defensive mindset or whether it's attacking mindset. So, that was really good. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do that.
That's okay. Just one pet peeve I want to have to address that you've just mentioned. What shits me about AFL broadcast is you don't see that center bounce until the last second after every goal. Like you got it in the corner, the bottom right corner after a goal. No. They do the replay. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I know because when I try and do my analysis, I have to try and slow it up to make sure I get it at the right time, but I don't see the setup. So, that is a peeve of mine as well.
Have a word. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention this start. Belated congratulations to Kalani getting picked up by the D's as well. So hopefully
thank you.
That works out well for him.
Yeah, he's going really well. He's really, really fitted in well. The club's really – he's probably not one of the fans want to hear this. Look, my favourite forward has been for a long time is Myercheck. Love his work rate. Love the way he's played. And he's really taken Kalani under his wing. So thanks, Brody, for that. And, I must say thanks to Collingwood for letting him go to Melbourne. But what a wonderful player, and he's been great to teaching Kalani their ropes.
How good. Keen to see Checkers in the black and blue, red and blue. We call it. Is it red and blue? We call the Demons the red and the blue, or what do we call them these days?
Red and blue.
And hopefully under Checkers' tutelage, Kalani has a really good run at it as well.
Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. I'm sure this won't be the last time. We appreciate you all, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, go Pies.
Yes. Good luck to the Pies in 26.
Cheers.